Hello, good morning, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so make sure you guys please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. I am up early, y'all. It is 6:39 a.m. Okay. And I wanted to get a video in. I got a holiday party to go to tonight. Um, one of the attorneys are giving, so I don't think I'll be able to come on tonight, but I'll definitely come on in the morning. Okay. But I wanted to talk about the national effects of young Dolph's life, and it had to happen. And I want to talk about how proud I am of Key Glock. Okay. Now, for the record, I want to say this because I know it's a lot of like, I haven't been in the YouTube streets because I've been busy, and we're really all been busy. And um, if anybody take offense to what I post on my page, it's really something wrong with you. I think I have to say this, I think it's sad when grown people can be so emotionally screwed up, right? They could be so emotionally messed up to the point where they go from channel to channel trying to, just like the devil, trying to seek out whoever is weak minded to see who that they can devour. There's no way in the world, as a woman, that I would be trying to get up under somebody um, to try and see if I can either influence them. Because women do that all the time with men, and they'll use sexual power, anything, especially when they're fucked up in the brain. Okay. To try to encourage wars that ain't even necessary, right? And so I was talking to somebody, and they was like, these folks trying to get Quet to come at you. They trying to go and get a man to get up under a man to try to get him to come at me. Quet has been a street dude probably his whole life. I hope that he does not fall for that. I have not seen Quet on here um, going at any women. And I hope he does not let a bunch of damn trolling YouTube YouTubers or whoever, some of these, whoever it is, um, that it's messed up though, how people try to keep mess going. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna worry about that at all. I'm not gonna I won't worry about that, because as I've said before, I'm not going to argue with any men at all. And I have not heard anything that Quet has said or through shots at me, anything like that. As far as I know, he hasn't. I don't know. But I just hope that he does not allow YouTubers or whoever it is, okay, or subs who you got to be screwed up in the head, okay, because each and everybody has a difference of opinion. If I say I don't appreciate what CMG did to Young Dolph, ain't now hoe got no business being mad about that. You can't control me. You can't control me. What you think you can influence Quet to get active and kill me? That's how messed up a lot of these people is on here. Okay? Because I'm trying to figure out what is the end result. What's the end result? What would be the reasoning for it? Quit ain't came at me, so I don't really see no need to put the police on him. I ain't never seen him meddling me. But what is the end result when folks are trying to get him active? Ain't nobody got to tell Quet nothing. He see everything that go on here. You ain't heard him say nothing. Only sissies come at women. I do respect him for that, because I ain't seen him not now time go at a woman. But it's sad when you got people trying to get him active to come at women, and it's usually trolling ass subs. And a lot of the times they don't even live in Memphis, but they trying to keep a war going because they got issues. A lot of these people swear they that person. You couldn't have nothing going on if you going from channel to channel trying to keep wars going. Ain't nobody got to try to get quit active. When Quet has been mad, he has gone into. I've seen him go a state when he went when he wanted to respond to something he did. But it's a damn shame when I'm hearing they trying to get his energy at me. I mean, it's some. I was talking to somebody last night, okay, and they were saying, it wouldn't be him that you have to worry about. It's those energies that's trying to get him to come at you. He can't scare me to change my opinion or facts about nothing. And so you have to think about how these people lie on here. These folks, I've had to get on here and I ain't gonna defend another lie. I'm gonna get the law to defend it for me, because I'm that girl for real. I got the money to do it. Okay. But I think it's a darn shame when people get on here doing it. It goes to show how pathetic they are. As a woman, there's no way in the world that I would ever be trying to keep energy going to try to get a man that has a reputation and probably still being watched, to try to get him stirred up. When I look at Quet, even though I have my opinions about what Quet did with his part, I believe he played some type of part in it. That you can't change that. But when I look at him, I see a broken man. Because, see, I'm a black woman for real that want to see black men do better for themselves, bitch. Okay? I don't like to try to keep them, their minds boggled up, and try to keep them at war and all of that, try to push wars so that they can kill each other. That's the difference between me and a lot of bitches. Okay? And so I was told early on that a woman can make or break a man. Okay? I don't necessarily try to break no men down. I like to break the news when they ain't right to them. Negro, you ain't right. They have to be told the truth. But if I can use my words to make him think about what he doing, that's what I use my platform for a lot of times, even when I'm cussing them out and stuff. I don't be wanting to see them at war going at each other because I'm mad about something. My mama raised me better than that. Okay? Anyways, you guys, I digress. I'm not going to address that anymore. Okay? I'm sure they're going to go and send somebody a cash app or something to try. And y'all, my subs, be watching, screenshot, record everything for me. Anything you say, because see, I don't defame nobody's character, bitch. It will be used against you in a court of law. Hole. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about the national effects of young Dolph's unaliving. Okay, it's early, right? And I ain't talking about no one particular person. Okay, I'm talking about whoever. But the national effects of young Dolph's unaliving, it had to happen. A lot of people go, well, why are we still, well, I don't know why anybody would say that. Why are we still talking about young Dolph's unaliving? Okay, so now you're trying to control me on my channel. You can't tell me who I can or can't talk about. I talk about anything I want to. I don't care how old it is. That's what I do. And that's what anybody else do. Right? So you talk about the national. I think about the national effects of young Dolph's murder. It had to happen, and when I think about it had to happen, I think about how when I've gone through stuff in life, and I think about the scripture in the Bible, Joseph, when he said it had to happen, right? But it was good for me, okay? And we know that this has been a tragedy, that what has happened to young Dolph. and it's sad, and we wish that it had not happened. But we talk about the national effects of it. It has to be put out on a forefront. Even though we've had other artists to lose their lives because of violence, Young Dolph's Unaliving hit differently, because you had two groups of well-known figures, right, going at each other. Okay. And I think that kind of piqued the interest of everybody. But still, we've had, other than Young Dolph, before and after, young men losing their lives. And so in this rap situation, just black men just falling, right, and for nothing, just lives interrupted for nothing, for money, greed, and power. And so it had to happen. I'm talking about the effects of it being national, because God had to bring, okay, it to the forefront, right? It had to be some attention brought to it, right? And whatever the masses has their attention on it, those that can do something about it, it forces them to have to look at it. Okay. So we have to talk about this, because me as a black woman, I don't want to see black men slaughtered, and because I'm mad, going at folks, and going back to jail and all of that, because they threatening women and shit like that, because that's the only thing that's gonna happen. Okay. I don't want to see that. I'm not a silly woman. Okay. But what I do want to see is, I want to I would love to see rap. I feel like was created, right, for I feel like God allowed rap to create it as a means and a way for our community to be able to gain some type of wealth, right? And so we saw in the beginning, because a lot of they came out the hood and stuff, they didn't know anything about business. So we saw them gaining fame, and the deceiver, the slave master, okay, the modern day slave master, gaining the wealth, the generational wealth. And so, I think, as soon as years went on, after they financially raped a lot of the artists, okay, after they financially raped a lot of the artists, what we saw was, some of these young men started to want, hey, they started seeing, when they wanted to get into the rap game, as time went on, social media became very prevalent. People started really talking about what the industry had did to them, left them broke, busted, and discussed that they had the fame, but then they had no money. A lot of them was homeless. Okay. And so they took the initiative to try and learn the business. And Young Dolph was one of those ones, right? And that's why we have to give that young brother his prop. Okay. Regardless to what he did or didn't do, we saw that he took the initiative to try and break the chains of the chains that the slave master had on these artists in the industry. And I respect him for that. Okay. Now, Young Dolph was gunned down, and hey, I've been very honest. They say being honest is overrated. Okay. I had a lawyer to tell me that yesterday. And that it was a defense attorney. Being honest is overrated. I hollered. Okay. I said, yeah, I know that you would think that, right? I hollered. But I've been very honest, okay? Um, in saying that I knew more of Yo Gotti's music because he was my era. And Young Dolph kind of came after that, when I gotten into, more just R&B and gospel, right? Because rap has started changing, and I ain't want to hear music that's consistently defaming women. Okay, I don't. It's certain types of vibrations that I don't like to penetrate me, and that was just one. The vibrations had definitely changed from the salt and pepper days. Okay, and 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 so I've been honest about that. And to see two men, hey, people get into it all the time, but for it to end in death, it's really messed up, to have a consistent pattern of trying to unalive somebody is really sad. It was a consistent pattern. Now, I don't know if young Dolph and them bust back. I don't know. But if he didn't, he should have. Okay, he should have. He should have bust back every time so that they would know that they wouldn't have been doing it so often. Okay. And so, but when I think about how it had to happen, okay, it had to happen so attention could be brought to what was really going on, even as it relates to like the insurance policies, um, all of that. Okay, the insurance policies, how these record heads was putting insurance on these young men and making sure that something happened. I believe that. Okay, something happened to them so that so that they can get payouts. Now when I was in the private sector, I did a lot of work for insurance companies. Okay, I did a lot of work, a lot of investigative work for insurance companies. Believe me when I tell you, when they think something, there's some type of fraud that has gone on, or they will, or if there's a big policy, there's always suspicion. Okay, and if the police rule it like you know um natural type situation, death, or um an accident, and there is a big payout, insurance companies will get private entities to go and figure some things out for them before they pay all of that money out, especially when you're talking about something over $250,000. Okay. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Um, so yeah. And so I believe all of that was happening, and God allowed all of this stuff to be brought to the forefront. Okay. Because I'm tired of these black men losing their lives. Okay. And so, I think it is important. I thought about when Joseph brothers threw him into the pit. All right. They threw him into the pit and they left him for dead. And years later, God made him, after he went to jail, he went through hell. His brothers threw him in the pit because they was jealous of him, right? He revealed some things to them too soon, okay? And they became jealous of him, his own blood brothers, right? He revealed to them what God was going to do. God was going to make him ruler over a nation. He was sold into slavery, and all of that. And years later, after he had gotten out of jail, God had given him favor. Okay, because there's always a ram in the bush. And he had given him favor. And he was made ruler over a nation. And his brothers, who thought that they had killed him off, there was a famine in their land. Y'all know I love to tell this story. I get emotional when I tell it because we've all been through some hell when people thought they had left you for dead. Okay. They tried to kill you because, and I see that happening right now. They trying to get who, um, a man who they have said that they believe is a killer. Okay. To come at a woman. Right. And, but they left him for dead. There's been a lot of people that have had family members that was jealous of them, that have left them for dead. Friends who backstabbed them, thought they left them for dead, all because of jealousy. They was plotting. Okay, they didn't understand that you were a seed. And so when there was a famine in their land, they went to um, another area looking for food, and they didn't know that it was their brother. And when Joseph saw them, when they came and they asked for help, he realized that that was his brothers, that had threw him into the furnace of affliction, okay, into the pit, and he was sold to slavery. And then when they Joseph told them, go and get your mother and your father. They didn't know it was him. Okay. They went back and they got the mother and their father. And Joseph cried. And then when he came back, because Joseph had not seen his mother and his father in many years after his brothers, because his mother and father thought he was dead. Okay. His brothers didn't tell his mom and dad what they had done to their son, to their brother. And he revealed himself, and his brothers, immediately after they saw God had given him the vision and brought it to pass years later. And his brothers started trying to apologize to him once he revealed that I am Joseph, your brother, that you threw into the pit and left for dead, sold into slavery. And when they started trying to apologize to him, Joseph said, it had to happen, but it was good for me. Each and every time there has been a tragedy, when people come together and pray, okay, God makes it into something that ends up being in the favor. Hey, we can't change young Dolph being down there in that grave. If I could do it, I would. If I could bring my daddy back, I would. Okay. But I feel like when people go on to another dimension, even if we could, if they had a choice to come back after so long, they wouldn't. Why would they? With all of this evil and these warlocks over here. Okay. And I'm emotional as I talk about this because it's a darn shame that as women, men are supposed to be the head, women is the neck. They're so jealous hearted and keep confusion going so much. They're twisted, easily sent out. I can't do it. I'm going to get you to do it. I would never want to be a part of nothing where I'm sent out. As a matter of fact, when people start telling me, you do it, what I do is that's my exit. I exit stage left because I don't deal with people that think they're gonna send me out at all. As a matter of fact, I don't even like people that's got that send out type spirit, right? But I think it's a darn shame, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Even with all this stuff that has happened, I don't know where any of these people's heads are, but I don't want to see nobody die. Okay, I don't like seeing these men slaughter each other. Okay, I don't like that. And I thought about when God says, "Call for the wailing women." Women are supposed to be praying because it's women that pray and change nations. Instead, you see women so damn silly. They're using their tongue and the influence that they can have over a man to keep wars going. And so when I was talking to somebody last night, they was like, "Quit ain't who you need to worry about. It's them ones that's trying to egg him on is who the danger is. Let's focus in on that." Okay. And I have so much going on that I don't like being involved in silly stuff. But when people are so emotionally fucked up and unstable, you almost have to do something to them. Okay. Because they're dangerous. What they try to do is push murder. Okay. If they can facilitate it, if they can instigate it, they will. That's how twisted they are. I just don't like seeing nobody else be great. And those are the ones that we have to push to make the law get rid of, make them disappear, maybe behind the jail cell. That's the only place for them because they're going to mess around if somebody weak enough and get people killed if they can. Okay. And so the national effects of young Dolph's murder, it had to happen. But I think in the end, because of all the publicity, because of all the outrage, it'll be good for the young men that's coming behind. The yo goddess can't get mad and decide they're gonna put a hit on him, that hit on them, somebody that's great, that easily, or because they mad because they said something about them that easily and think they're gonna get away with it. Okay. If nothing else, this has proved that. Okay. This has proved that. And a lot of people say, well, you focus in on your God and way more than you do anybody else. I always did because he was always at the root of this problem. Okay. He was always at the root of this problem. He's one of the main issues that I have that's at the root of this problem, coupled with whoever those other ones are that, I was told that wanted them gone, that might have had some money. Okay, I don't know who they are, but I know who he is. Okay. So it had to happen, but God knows I pray that it will be good for those that's coming behind. Because what we do to try to make things better is not about us. It's about the people that come behind us. Okay. It's about the people that come behind us, the generations that come behind us. And I hope that we can keep that in intact. Okay. And I want to talk about Key Glock. I saw Key Glock. Okay. And I saw um and Key Glock seemed just as quiet, but he really make a lot of noise. And I'm very, very proud of him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just read her text. It say
I'm very proud of seeing this brother do what it is that he does. Okay. And coming from out of Memphis, keeping his head on straight, the pain that they've had to go through, and just being great, taking care of his mother, his family, his daughter. Hey, you don't see him in any beefs or anything like that. That makes me extremely proud of him. Whatever he got going on, you don't know it. And so people like that, I love supporting. Um, Contrary, I love supporting. I'm really proud of him. Key Glock is the same age as my daughter. And so hey, I'm old enough to be his mother. That means I could be his mom. And so what I do is I want to encourage a young man like this, not hate him for no reason. I don't know him to hate him, but I can be proud of him because I see that he listened to his mentor. Okay, he listened, and now he's taking care of business, right? And so what I want to do is encourage him to keep going, to stay out of the mess, to just move right, because people be wanting to kill you. Why you think he great? That's why they killing folks in our community. And y'all think that I ain't gonna call these damn crazy ass men out and I'm gonna egg them on. No, nigga, you wrong. You is wrong. I'm not gonna be with a man. I'm a woman. Okay, men listen to women, and that's why God said, "Call for the wailing women." Y'all hear me on here hollering and screaming, but I speak the truth because I want these men to listen. If they ain't doing it right, they need to do it right. Listen, hey, I ain't on here. I don't condemn quit because I know God took. Quit is a what I see is a depression and a hurt man for whatever reasons. And I know that God took Paul, Saul, who was a murderer, okay, and changed his name to Paul and made him an apostle that followed Jesus from city to city when he was healing. Y'all can't tell me what God can't do. So, as a woman, I'm not going to use my influence, especially my voice. Okay. Yes, I'm going to tell your God and them they was wrong. You wrong. You wrong. You wrong. Okay. They was wrong and they got to pay for what they did to that boy. They did the very most when they paid them folks to go kill that boy. But I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna speak the truth always. It ain't gonna change. Okay. But shout out to Key Glock, shout out to Young Dolph. Okay. I really appreciate you all for supporting me as I really appreciate you all for supporting me as you know, I prepare to do a lot of other things. Okay. Hey, I'm about my community. Listen, I'm born and raised in Memphis. I have a different, when I speak about Memphis and I speak about the people in Memphis and I speak about what has gone on in Memphis, can't nobody outside of Memphis. I mean, because they probably do want to see wars go on in Memphis. When I speak about it, it comes from a different place. It's a city that I grew up in and I love, and I have a love for the people. Okay. All right. Anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.